Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, it's another Sunday, and we are back. Hope everyone's been having a good day. I've had myself a nice dinner, and I thought we'll do our regular Sunday. We'll have a bit of drawing, yeah. Sorry for earlier in the week. I think I've hit a wall where it was like trying to think of something to draw, the whole blank canvas syndrome, and I just wasn't happy with what I made last time. So, for today, just to ease myself back into it and to build my confidence back up, I think I'll just be building around like maybe stuff for channel assets. So, obviously, what you see here from my background, that's what I've been using as my banner for Twitch. I might try and make a variant today and then maybe make some art involving my model, but we will see. We'll see how we feel going on. It's mostly going to be just a bit of graphic work, I suppose, and just playing around with settings. So, yeah, I'll jump right in and hope you enjoy the vibes. We have our chill music playing, so yeah. I hope it's a nice comfy time for anyone tuning in. Right, let's get the page up. Got my profile banner right there. I've got my reference image behind me, so if you wonder where I'm pulling colours from, it's from that. So it's all look like I'm plucking the colours straight from me. There we are. The music's not triggering the model, so that should be okay. But yeah, the way I've got it set up, it looks like my PNG is my reference image looks like how my PNG looks to everyone else on this screen, so that'll be fun. Right, so let's have a look. We want paint layer. We're going to take from my model, basically. Is that going to let me? Okay. We'll have to do the broad stroke. Let's make it slightly lighter than my model because the end goal really if I can kind of explain my thoughts, it's more like I'm not at the point where so far on my screens, if I pull them up, we have my starting soon, we have my be right back, we have my end stream, we have this base chat. So ideally I kind of want to work on them a little bit just to have something slightly nicer in. See if I can make something I like the look of a bit more. Because really what we want to do is kind of have lighter colours, if that makes sense. So the way my brain was kind of working was, hang on. That's too far one way, hang on. And then we just go paintbrush. Because I figured. Hello there, BB. Hello, Hugging. Nice to see you both. Yeah, I don't know if you saw me cycle through it. The general plan today is to do something a bit familiar because I've been having a bit of blank canvas sort of syndrome. You know, trying to think of new things to draw. So the plan today was to do work based around my model and my channel graphics. So you've seen my start end and be right back kind of graphics. I could do with a little practice, just making something a bit cleaner, more professional looking, was the idea. So this right now, what I normally for my Twitch banner, I'm thinking of just doing something with like my name and just like a nice little graphic, basically, is the idea. So sticking with something familiar to get my confidence back up, if that makes sense. Hang on a second. Is that the smudge? I might not be doing anything with this. It's just I suppose that's how I can make a background in a weird sepia colour thing. Hang on, undo that. Because obviously, if I go back to my main screen, oops, wrong button. If I go to my face chat, this is my background that's behind my screen normally, especially when I'm doing whatever. So I thought I'd make something a bit more plainer, but a bit more professional looking. So, and like have my name writ big on the top or something, but we'll see. I can always repurpose whatever I make anyway, but this is just, how do I put it? Keep it simple and all that kind of thing. How's everyone's week been though? I've had a nice Sunday. I've had a nice roast dinner, using up all my leftovers to make a lamb roast. So I've had that. I've eaten. I've technically had vegetables. So I should have some actual carbs to fuel my brain today. And I've got myself some mint and honey tea. So been good. Made my first ever commission art today. Oh, congratulations! Like, I won't ask things like how much did you charge and whatnot, but like, was that online or was that like say through your uni stuff? But yeah, congratulations. That's wonderful to hear. All right, now let me think. That's not the overall. So. Do I want this higher up? Is the question. Online, okay. Roast anything, nom nom. I am sipping coffee and coming off some emotional nonsense. So I'm just here, inform me with your arts. Oh no, I'm clearly not going to have a meltdown under pressure. No. I'm hoping the lo-fi music will do most of the carrying to help, smooth over your emotional distress, if that makes sense. Yeah. And just like picking apart my basic skills. So let's have a think. Well, we'll leave that for now. Just keep moving. I'm tempted to ask like questions about it and stuff, but like it's that kind of thing where it's rude. It's not. How can I word it? I don't want to pry too much, but yeah, congratulations. It's always good to hear. Right, where I was, I would want. Let's have a think. Do I want this higher up? Is the question. No, that's what I'm going to do if I'm ever going to make grass, I imagine. But no, this is going to be... Different brush would be useful. How high do we want this? Do we like it that high? I think above us, someone's got something, isn't it? won't bother me, isn't it? Okay, hang on. Found out you can do the same for Robux in Roblox, so to get a bit of practice for the future, made an account for it. Oh, well done, well done. Sounds like a good place to cut your teeth on it. Oops, that's the wrong button. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this one little mistake. Although what I need to do is have a different colour would help. That's the right one. I had the wrong colour before, that'll be why. Everyone also I need on the program I use for art, except for the straight line tool. Yeah, it's gonna just be really triggering for like one person who's like, that line's not straight or something. Hang on. My brain's doing that thing where I'm seeing colours that aren't there, like I'm seeing like gaps. I don't know. Yeah, my never's painted. Oh no. Right, now. Did I want? If I lie. We'll leave it like that. We'll go back because I'm overthinking it again. Oh, dark. We want it. We'll just do half for now. These are kind of my colours. And then if we go on this one and we do. Question is now, do I want all of my channel color, my model colours to make this? Because I was thinking, let's have a look. I'll try this for now. Size have we got? Doo-be-doo-be-doo. And the question I have should I make my writing, so to speak, be in this teal that I have my snakehead colour? So far I've got all three colours that are from my main model, or should I just use this as a highlight? But we'll see how it looks. I'm probably going to add some white and a few other colours to like this like lettering, like to this. So, but we're trying to basically create a font that I like. Hello Ben, how are you today? You doing well? Well, you're one of my favourite people too, Ben. I appreciate seeing you, mate. I feel like isn't that like what most people are searching for when it comes to not to get sappy, but you know, we all say we do for success. It's not really success, I think we're all. Well, it's not all that we're chasing, isn't it? Just connection with people and like trying to, you know, get some of those good old-fashioned values back where you just get to spend time with people and have a nice little thing. All we're missing are the drinks, really. Hope you've all got some drinks. I've got some drinks. To give you a brief summary of what I'm doing today, Ben, it is mostly just working on channel assets, because you've seen my slides that I use for various things, and they're a bit rough is the generous wording for them. So today, at least for the first hour, I'm just going to be working on a banner art for my Twitch channel. Yeah, I'm doing okay, Ben. Just the some of the usual. Let's think. Now, we want. Do I want to do the quirky thing and replace the A with like something? Because what I was roughly thinking, as a rough draft, was to have like replace the A with like the little skull, the little bird skull that I use quite a lot. You know, which you see on quite a few of my things. Although, is that too close to the Twitter logo, or at least their older logo? Well, they're not using it anymore, so I guess it doesn't really matter. This might need to be chunkier. If that's the case. We like chunky D's. Chunkies. Once you use the green blue with a black bold or darker outline, you can highlight the main colour and stuff. There's a suspicious absence of birds Friday. What you know about that? Birds aren't real. They're just government drones. Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's definitely going to make me above suspicion. Good work, brain. That just looks like an 8 now, doesn't it? Ugh. There's birds. The other bird stares at Ben. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant birds, but with a cheeky spelling. I know what you mean by the outline, though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. You see, I'm going to basically... Instead of drawing an outline around this, I'm just going to make a different coloured version of the text. And then... That needs moving over a bit. Hang on. Already taking up too much space. My goodness. Okay. We'll leave that there like that for now. And we'll see if we change it as we go. This is only a rough outline anyway. That's what you said. No, it's not birds, other birds. The bears were having some issues, so they called the day a wash. And sorry to hear that, Ben. Like I said, I skipped a stream myself recently because I was just not feeling it, so I've just been playing video games to kind of fill the void. Let's think. Looks like a P now that I've done that. And the text would be better on the lighter orange, makes it pop more. Could do. Like I said, we'll get a rough outline down and I'll fiddle with the colours and stuff. I want to just try and get my try and get the text down first and make a little alteration here and there. So, oops, wrong button. We'll start fiddling with colours, but we'll get a base draft down, if that makes sense, and then I'll start doing colour correction. Obviously, I'm not being very consistent currently. This is all just very scribble art at the moment. There. Remember how many O's are in my name? That would help too. Always do the thing where it overlaps. What do we think about that as a rough idea if I zoom out a touch? Sorry, you can't see the bottom bit. But as a first idea, does it make it look too much? Is it hard to read, the do-do-do bit? Is it too hard to read, making it look like a chain link? It just looks like a bit messy, doesn't it? Obviously, I've got to add more stuff to make it pop and stuff, but as just the the design in any case. All right, well, we'll play around with it. Like I said, we can shave it down. We can maybe make it more looking like chain links, maybe. And just have one distinct O there. Let's do a little shaving. I like the bird head. I don't think the do-do-do is hard to read. Yeah, and like I said, as you've said, it's I've still got to add outlines and stuff. This is just the rough kind of idea. I realised, you know, they think about hobbies that you haven't tried, but you feel like you probably would enjoy. For me, I feel like maybe I should give whittling a go. You know, the whittling or woodcraft, because big part of what I do quite enjoy. You know, would you call this technique shaving, where you do a big block of colour, then you just kind of whittle away at the letters, as it were. Where you just like whittle away, whittle away. That's quite satisfying for me in any case. Like, I like the that needs to probably be round, doesn't it? I don't think that worked. I need to redo that a little bit. I get the concept. Create by removing. There's a word for that. I know there's the proper thing is do you know, like learning how to draw negative space? I know that's an actual thing. I won't claim what I'm doing is the full thing. It's just like the closest thing to the idea, I suppose. I don't know, I've done too much. Let me make this bigger so I'm not doing such a low area. Sorry. Okay. That's worth it. It's all in a similar vein. Yeah. Today, like I say, is try not to stress too much, just trying to enjoy the process, as it were. So I hope the beats are to everyone's enjoyment. Took me far too long to get my head together about that. Honestly, most of what I've been doing this week, instead of you know, practicing and doing things that are like, you know, productive, I've just been playing Final Fantasy 14 and the Fire Red port for the Switch of Pokemon, which I've mostly been soloing with a Charmander who is now a Charmeleon wearing a no, it needs a thicker stem still, doesn't it? A Charmander that's now a Charmeleon wearing an Everstone, because I prefer Charmeleon over Charizard, the heretic that I am, and they vastly overleveled Beedrill. So, but I've been enjoying it. I've been looking for, what's it called? It's just nice to, you know, play a bit of nostalgia game every now and then. Zoom out and you'll have a look at it. The D needs to be bigger over here, doesn't it? We all need bigger Ds. Because the big D is what announces everything, so we need to make sure it's bigger. Although it's going to need a bit more inner space. Bigger or any at all, yes. Charmeleon. Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot what I was talking about, so I thought you were just talking about chameleons and spelt it wrong. Shows you my bird brain. I don't know, I think it's just because the back sprite for Charizard in Fire Red is just really awkward looking. I know, I'm very shallow. I'm basically, a lot of what makes me use a Pokemon is how, because you're staring at the back of their head in a battle so often that you kind of want the back sprite to look good. So I'm shallow like that, I'm sorry. Somewhat consistent, hopefully. Now, do we want to make the eye bigger? Or do we want to just reposition it somewhere else, maybe? If we do that, and then we go somewhere else with it. I mean, rather than the circles, we could just go... do something like the X's or whatnot. Bigger D's, yes, must hold back the demons to say that's what he said. Oh, I know. We are all guilty. I mean, does something like that work? Just having a big X? Just to, those of you who are better trained in, like, you know, what do they call it? In artistic language, like, obviously my current name is Dead Dododo, but obviously the name needs to reflect that, so having a bird skull with an X, that says Dead Bird, doesn't it? So, I don't know if that makes sense for, like, a thematic or whatever. Like, you're reinforcing it, you're reinforcing the core kind of theme or something. Hence why I'm using the same colours as my model. If that makes sense. Honestly, anything will be better than what I've currently got. I think I vaguely recall doing a background before. And, I don't know why I'm doing that. What am I trying to make here? I'm trying to make a little spoke or something. Don't want to make it look too much like a P, I suppose. Because then it'll be Ped Dododo. So I probably shouldn't make the little that too big, because then it'll look too much like a P. Let's trim them down a touch. I think it should. You're putting the bird head or beak somewhere in there, and it should reflect you. When I look at you, three things stick out prominently: the snake's tongue, your beak, and the crown. Yeah, so it would be a case of you'd be drawing. You could easily do a what's it called? You could either do like a tongue there, kind of thing, and then over the other side have the yellow for the crown and have the little crown. Although I was debating the crown because do you know some people when they yeah the feathered crown? I know what you mean. Yeah, I was gonna say I was debating putting the snake crown, but I realised that as like there's a certain personality. You know, like when people call themselves the king something, queen something. You know, people's personas. I don't necessarily identify my brand as a king or anything. It's just more. It's. I hope it conveys on the snake. It's like a funny little party crown. It's like a little party crown at a birthday. It's not like so. Like here's the birthday boy more than His Highness. I'm hoping that's the kind of vibe it gives, if that makes sense. Thing is, what I would might have to change with the in regard to the crown, unless I decide to do. Hang on, because I've obviously got the background color as orange. I was debating. Oh, that's a wrong color. I asked for black, but for some reason it was still red. So somewhere in it on this side. Maybe not exactly there, but again on the other side, on the second word, have the feathers somewhere on the right side. So, yeah, it's not like I'm King Dead Dodo Goat Game of all things. Yeah, I get what you mean, like my Queen Bee persona. Yeah. I think I said to you, BB, because you've shown me your model. Yeah, obviously you can't the model you can't quite run on your setup, but you've shown me your model art. And I think I said something like you could do like a little bit more yellow. I think was my kind of like taste in it in any way, because I feel like you look a bit empty on top of the head, like you need a little something there. But because I think, as I said, when I was my preference showing through, I like having the colour all the way down, isn't it? So the orange is in, it's prevalent all the way up and down, isn't it? But sorry if I'm not making sense. I'm trying not to talk too loud, and I'm trying not to what's the word? Oh, I can't think today. I should stop trying to talk too much. I need to actually save my words when I've got a good thought to share and not just. Okay, so we can move that here. At least with me not drawing things the right way, I can always align. Is that the right word? Realign. Because you can have something there like that. And if we go back over here and go back to this. So I can always do, like, say, the feathers. This is only rough, but like the feathers on this side. But I'm not quite sure if that's where I want to go, or have it as a. If I go on another layer, to have it like behind it, if that makes sense. Yeah, if we move that behind. Oops, too far. Too far. And you have something like behind it or something. Although I'd have to workshop that a little bit. I mean, it's the same thought. Instead of having the bird skull in the lettering, I could have the bird skull behind, like that as a graphic. But not quite what I want, I think. I just work on drawing. Or something along these lines, maybe? And then let's have a think. I'm trying to do the thing where I don't zoom in too much, because I think I've been told, at least from a couple of guides I've looked at, that you lose your sense of proportion if you're too zoomed in. You're not seeing the whole thing. That makes sense. If I look the shape anyway. Suppose I should hide that for a sec, just so I can see a bit better. I don't know if you're still there, Hugging, but I quite like. Obviously, you've got quite a few different designs, like depending on how you're feeling and whatnot. So I quite like all your nice variety you've got, because so you got a nice outfit for for any occasion, as it were. Obviously, the most I've thought about it is how do I put this? I'll have to do like what I did for Christmas, where I just draw a little hat or something. I do probably need to zoom in a touch for this. Could I do with moving this somewhere else in the picture, maybe? What time are we on? Okay, 13 minutes. Suppose I could always do a what am I thinking? I could always do this as like a top of the head kind of thing, where you see that. I'd have to readjust it again, obviously. You know, like you see, so if this was my channel banner, and you could see just the like this is you're seeing just the top of my head, as it were. Maybe this might work more as a concept. Just see my fat head rising like a Jaws movie. What happened there? My game just got my program just got stuck in an autosave for a second. Maybe that might work. So, just changing the design as we go. Banner, that's what you meant. Yeah, sorry, I swear, stick a fork me, I'm cooked. No, it's okay. It's I don't blame you. Although I've just realised the top of my head is what's it called? That's right. That's that one. Yeah, so like the header. I meant like the header that goes above your Twitch, on top of your Twitch channel. So, oh, that is not what I meant to be doing. Hang on. It helped I was on the right layer. This is what this is like basically just being. It's just fiddling about basically today. I had the same thing earlier. It's just couldn't like get my thoughts out. Couldn't hear me flubbing my words more. But no worry, we can only be at our best a couple hours of the day. So okay, so there's a rough idea. Oh, hang on, I need to go back to selection mode, don't I? We do this and do some repositioning. Do I make it shorter? Should probably be a little bit of a gap. I mean, I can always raise it up a little bit and do the top of my head. Depends like how much of the head I want to show. I don't know if I want to show eyes. That's the thing, because then it would No, we'll try it for now. We'll see. If we go back to where do we want you in this picture? What do I want you further out? Works a little bit. We'll try that for now and we'll always adjust it. Although saying that, I should be doing the intelligent thing and actually naming the layers. Text layer 1. Head layer 1. Where are we at with this? We'll leave those are just paint, so those will be okay. Let's drop a save in case we lose everything. I swear, never named a layer in my life. I can't remember things well, so I need it because if I lose track of my layers, I'm just gonna explode, and I'm just gonna like completely lose it. So, fortunately, I need it. Can't all be blessed. Oh. Speaking of losing things, where's my pen? There we go. Well, I'm just jealous that you are actually doing it and I never did it myself the favour. No, there's like, don't worry, there's probably plenty of stuff I should be doing that I'm not doing. So. So don't praise me too hard, because there's probably some stuff I'm doing which is very basic that I should be doing. It's like peeking. Just do it like so, like you're peeking, just you're peeking. Hang on, you hide the text for a second. No, that's like without the other features, it's a bit funny looking. Oh, I've left a mark what I shouldn't have left. I was watching a thing recently and it was someone I follow, and it was you're doing great involving your own process. Yeah, like I said, the point is like I've had a few conversations with people about, you know, the whole thing to do with streaming and whatnot. One thing that came up recently was someone asking, this is someone in a Discord, in a stream, sorry, asking the streamer, should they have a team? Do they need a team, like, you know, managers and basically people to help them be successful? You know, like, do you need to be a proper, legit, quote unquote streamer? Do you need a team? Do you need a manager? And I was like, and I had the same sort of mentality as the person who was speaking, which was like, well, if you, that's kind of like when you're reaching a breaking point and you need to delegate, like you can't. You've got that much traffic on your channel, so it's not really. If you're asking that question, you probably don't need it. Is probably the answer. Is where I'm getting at it. Like if you have to ask that question, you don't need it because you'll have already hit your breaking point if you need one. Like if you're that successful, you got like 1,000 like people watching you and all that kind of stuff. But hang on, I've need to redo something now. Let me frame my thoughts so I don't actually fumble my words. I suppose it's that idea it comes into being able to measure your own progress. The advantage of me doing everything myself, even if it is very amateur and scuffed, is I know very much why people are here and like what I can do to improve. So I'm like, in my case, like, okay, if I've drawn this much, attention from chatters and other people with these assets I have. So if it's the assets holding me back, I need to practice drawing my assets more, which is kind of what I'm doing here. Whereas if it's not bad to buy assets and all that and commissions. I mean, we were just praising BB for it. But it does come with the territory of it's harder to know where you're going wrong if you haven't done the work yourself, if that makes sense. So if I'm not drawing a lot of people in, and I'm promoting myself as an art streamer, obviously that means I need to practice my art more. But if I bought all my assets and called myself an art streamer, I wouldn't know if it was due to my own assets or due to the things that were bought because I didn't make them myself. Sorry, I don't know if any of that makes sense. To summon up my rambling, it was I'm having fun with the process. And I'm trying not to compare myself to other people too much because I'm not at the same point in my journey as them. And I might never get to the point where I commission. I might just stay at the point where I am just having fun, being able to express my own stupid jokes, basically. Like that little comic I did for Ben a while back, just being able to put my thought into a way that's understandable. That makes sense if I summed you up as a whole as Archie, but is that what you consider yourself? No. I consider myself, you'll notice if you've ever heard me speak, I hesitate to call what I do art. I always title these things a lot of the time as doodling because I see myself as a doodler. Because that's me comparing myself to all the highly rendered art pieces you see on social media a lot. And even though I only have Blue Sky, it's the same sort of thing where it's hard not to compare yourself a little bit. I suppose, how can I word it? I just see myself as a guy on the internet, or a PNG on the internet. I'm having fun drawing, I'm having fun chatting with people, I'm having fun sharing games I enjoy with people. So, I don't know. That's basically where I see myself. I don't see myself as a professional or as someone who's making a living, if that makes sense. At least in my model right here, I can see what I'm doing. Oh, hang on. I don't see anyone commissioning me for art anytime soon. The only reason they do that, because I mean, there's even people who do stuff for free who do stuff better than this, but I think what I have to make peace with is I mostly do stuff for me. Does that make sense? So it's definitely not a living, it's definitely a hobby. So, and I think I've achieved my first goal that I kind of set myself, which was, obviously I haven't gone too, you've probably got the gist of my circumstance. I'm basically stuck at home, so it's doing the whole streaming thing is just to give myself, it's giving me something constructive to do. I never had the chat. I might as well make the best of a bad situation and indulge in a hobby I've not got to touch in a while. Because working in retail definitely definitely kills your ambition to try and be a person out of you. Right, hang on. I think I made my eyes too far apart. Oh, sorry about that, Huggin. It's still stuck on a very. Yeah, I apologise. It trips me up still. I think I've lowered the settings enough, but for some reason, it's even on the lowest setting, it still seems to think that message is too long. I apologise. Let's zoom in. Let's try and clean these lines up a bit. I know, I'm sorry about that. Thing is, it was the reason I've got it on, even on the base settings. It's just I've had a few, when they spam, like you do get those spam texters sometimes. So it's just helped me catch the bots sometimes. But if it is becoming too obtrusive, maybe I should reconsider the settings a bit. Yeah, but that's always been the case, I would argue. The main part of the reason why I decided to what's the word? The stream is because I got frustrated just trying to get my point across just in text, and I thought me trying to speak helped me a bit. Like being able to speak a bit helps me get more information out. So I can always save it for Discord. That always is an option. Let's just do thicker lines. No, hang on. Is it showing back up if I, or is it just letting me see them all? Hang on. I don't know if there's anything in mod settings I can do. Hang on. Okay, have a good night. I'm sorry if that was a. I'm sorry if that added to your, like, to your mood. I do apologise. Have a good night. I hope you have a good rest. You too, mate. Have a good night. Oh, let's hide that thing Slayer again. No, it's fine. It's just me. Does anyone else get sleep while you stop streams? It's the music, the lo-fi music, I'd imagine. And obviously, being quiet's perfectly fine. Honestly, I get that engrossed that I'm not as chatty as I could be anyway. So you're not wrong. I'm quieter than I probably should be as well. So I just hope you all enjoy the vibes. So like, it's meant to be a nice chill Sunday. So we're going for good vibes. Yeah. I'm glad I actually got off my butt and actually got my music situation sorted out, because I had to kind of purge all my art streams because of the copyright music, which was my own fault. Alright. Now we're looking. If we go back to this, the text need to be a bit bigger, do you reckon? Let's have a look. That's the basic outline for there. Oops, wrong one. Wrong button, crunk. Where wide does it need to go? And do I want to make it taller? What about? Oh, what time are we on? I'll take a quick break in about 15 minutes to stretch and grab a drink. But let's have a think. Question comes. I've got to like do the outline for the text a bit more. But I need to decide if do I want to colour in the head in the background or just kind of shade it a little bit and just I suppose it comes down to if I change the orange on top to a slightly different colour, so then it's not the same colour as my head feathers, I suppose. But what about the hair? Maybe go back to that. Oops, did not mean to do that. I'll have to see if it looks nicer fully coloured in, maybe. Would be the answer. We do head paint layer. Okay, so for that, we do size down. And it also depends, would putting the snake head be the right thing to do? Because of I don't put text layer. I need to delete that little bit. Head paint. Always adjust it, can't I? So it doesn't matter too much. Because in this case, the text is kind of doing the job the snake normally does, which is the teal kind of over it. Where's my... I want to get at least this done before I go for my little break, at least a little bit of colouring. I might not get to... how's it put? I might not get that round to doing everything, but... Oh, that's what the thick lines help in this regard. I'll do like a heavy shade, I suppose. Too far. Where's the headline? Right, that's the head paint. I'll draw the whites of those eyes. Only a bit of black too, just in there. Alright, now, and I need my... How are we looking? Okay. Did we want to do a slightly different tone of orange, maybe? Was that too light? Hello, Deviant. Nice to see you. That is a very lewd emote. My goodness. Oh my. Surprised Twitch allows that one. That's a bit spicy. But welcome in, welcome in. We are just having a normal, cozy Sunday stream. I am working on trying to do a new banner for my Twitch, which is, as you can see, the little face here. Speaking of, we're making that more faded help. Or not help. No, that goes too much with the other one, doesn't it? do that. Let's go to the head paint. Let's try knocking that down a little bit. Does that make much of a difference? Yeah, you cheeky guy. Cheeky person? I shouldn't assume. Alright, let's have a quick save. We are at... Oh, not too far. Right, so we go back to text. We add text layer 2. Should probably be trying to make this pop a bit more, shouldn't we? And if we do a darker colour, maybe? Have a look. Oh, no, that needs to go below, doesn't it? There we go. I will be trimming it down, obviously, but... that's the green I want to go with, but we will see. We're thinking about that as a colour, and we still need to obviously outline it, but maybe make it bigger so it's not like... Oh, hang on. Let's redo that bit. We're just trying to make this pop a little more, as I was advised. Still going to probably be a bit rough looking, but we'll see how we go, how we like it in the end. No, certainly a complete giant lava colour, but my whittling hand a bit of a rest. I probably should zoom in a bit, just so I can see a bit better. Yeah, if we still want to see, obviously, my wonderful mug in the background. Do we want to keep the green in the back? It's not even, obviously, but have a little zoom out. How's this? Might still want to have a darker outline, but zoom that back in a bit. I think I'm holding my pen too hard. I know I'm definitely am. Let's have a little look. I'm going to zoom out. Probably still needs me to do an outline. And let's have a look. Need a bit of black for the tongue, probably. That's the wrong colour. Sorry, I'm not keeping this. It's just like so a quick idea if a rough black outline would actually help or not. I don't know if I like that. Okay. Maybe just do more shading or something like that. Something about having like a gradient or something, more of a gradient. I work as the man art. Anyway, I'm going to take a little breather. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Make sure I save first. That'd be unfortunate if I lost all my progress. And then if I pin that message. Right, enjoy the cozy music and get yourself some, make sure you got some snacks and drinks and make sure you stretch. I shall be back shortly. Apologise for the delay. Apologise for the delay. Everything's still working. Good. Yeah, sorry, that took a bit longer than anticipated. So I had a little roadblock, but I'm back now. I've had myself a yogurt. I've re-topped up my drink. Now I have some apple slices and grapes to keep me, I suppose these count as hydration. Those are most grapes. What process I did have was maybe a bit of white would add to it, maybe. Or just as an example, your head paint would colouring the skull in a little bit help. Oh right, I'm on text. That'll be why I'm that'll be why it's not like I can actually skull coloured a little bit, maybe. How do we feel about that? Not sure. I think it comes down to whether or not it's worth keeping this coloured in or not. I'll always undo this in a second. How does that look? beans now, I suppose. No, it doesn't look quite right, does it? Having this might be the white colour, might be the better idea. It's not just a mucky grey, as it were. That might work a little bit. Just whether or not I want to keep the... Let's keep that off. Let's see if we just make this white. Am I happy with it? I mean, that pop a little more probably helps, but... suppose maybe would it be a white? A line maybe? Like a white outline, maybe that would be the better play. That's too much. That's not gonna work. You know what? I'm doing this the silly way, aren't I? Look. That'll be the right one. Okay, that's what I've got to watch out for then. It's pressing along. Yeah, that helps it pop against the darker orange at least a little bit. How's that looking? How does that make me feel? some shading maybe. We make it we don't want that. I think my character needs any question. Do we need the way I want, and do I want to keep the white all the way in the middle? Let's save. Do I want a thicker outline is the question. Oh, Cyclops now. Right, how are we feeling about that? If it's maybe that's it. I'm not squashing my letters enough. Right, let's have a look. That might be it. Make it the letters need some squish. Oh, staying that line's too long. Bit too much. That might be it, just thickening some of the inner lines and match it a bit better, maybe. I'll work out. No, not that one. There it is. Be fun. Oh, there. I need to move my screen over. Right, let's have a look. How are we thinking? It comes down to, do I want to put like a border as well, I imagine? If I just did a bar. Would that be better as that, or the black one maybe? It's a tiny little eye shine, just to give me a bit of life. But, where are we at? Okay, not too bad. More that can be done, it's just whether or not... Are there any more details? It all looks where it should be. A bit of squish on the line definitely wasn't the wrong idea. You can never go wrong with a bit more squish. But I think we'll save that as is for now. I can obviously fiddle and do more with it, but I feel like my hand's getting a bit tired. I'm doing my bad habits again, where it's No, is my face stuck open? Hang on, let me just double check. La 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 la. Okay, no, I'm fine. So there's a delay when I'm watching the stream back, but the question goes, I've got bad habits. I'm filling out the bad art habits bingo card. Mine's definitely got my stylus in a death grip and holding it too far down the stylus, especially when I start to zone out. But I think I'll leave the banner as is for now, because it's again, I've got my stylus in a death grip, and it normally does me some good to kind of sit back and let it sit for a bit and see if I can see anything new I want to do with it after I've had a bit of sleep and some fresh, a bit of time away from it for a bit. So, plus my apples have been sitting here this entire time and I've not been eating them. Looking at it as I am, I feel like in the right hand side there needs to be a little something. Yeah, we do. I'm trying not to cut my hobby short. Sorry, I've got my mouth full. Speaking of bad habits. Finish my bite before I start talking. There's the whole thing about trying to make sure you give your wrists a break, especially when you're doing little details. I've mostly managed to stay, I don't know. There's probably more I can do with this, like I said, but as I've already stated, I probably do need to give it a little break from it and give myself time to think about it a bit before I add more. I mean, I can always stick it up as my banner for now, but maybe I'll hold on to it, and might be better to as this is a base for going forwards, I need to kind of add new graphics, not just for my Be Right Back, my end and start stream, but also, like the panels on my Twitch page as well. So, because at the moment my about section is a bit, the pictures I've made are a bit all over the place, which I feel like if I'm going to make something like this my banner, my thought process was I need to make my graphics for my about, for my rules, for my credits, the little graphics you put above them on your panels, they should follow the same theme as what I've done with this thing to keep it consistent, if that makes sense. So I feel like that works at least as a test idea of having orange and kind of cream as the background, the base colours, and keeping the highlights being the green, the green colour. But I think I'll leave that one for now. I am debating when it comes to my middle, maybe only doing the one art stream on the Sunday and freeing Wednesday up for something else. I'm not sure, but knowing my own bad habits, I'm kind of two minds about it. I'm either stick to it and work through it, or is it a case of it's causing me too much mental dithering because I worry about trying to do too much for two art streams? Because I know there's the whole, it's just practice is practice. But maybe I should just save the arts for the very end of my week so I can apply everything and not have the Wednesday interrupt. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. So obviously I've only had this one art stream this week. And honestly, I think I feel a bit better like saving it and just having the one art stream a week. It's just whether or not what would I fill the Wednesday with is the question. Because currently, I mean, I have Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring on rotation on the Tuesday. I could always just have Baldur's Gate as my full Tuesday and just have Elden Ring for Wednesday. Or the other way round, where because I struggle a bit more with Baldur's Gate, maybe bracketing it with two games I really am comfortable playing. So maybe put Baldur's Gate in between Elden Ring and Fallout. Maybe I'd enjoy that a bit more. Not to say I'm not still going to do these art streams all the time, but I feel like Sunday does feel the best time to have it. But I'll think on it a bit more. I'll think on it. I've got tomorrow off. And I've got my normal Tuesday stream, so I'll make my mind up by Wednesday in any case. In any case, I could carry on for another half hour, but as I've stated, I think I've stressed my wrist a bit by not following good practice and actually rotating it every now and again and like shaking my hand out and not cramping my hand up doing stuff. Always the case when I end up doing colouring in, unfortunately. But I don't think that's a bad. I think like that's. I'm happy with my progress in any case. I don't know if. Hang on, actually, speaking of. Oh no, wrong button. There's one. Let's make one little change. No, I'm trying to go for the Rubaiyati. Unless that is my Rubaiyati. Maybe I'm kind of still debating on is if I want to colour in the holes with white. If that makes sense. I feel like it works better like this as a whole. I think it looks really good, though I'm not much of an artist. No, it's fine. It's I'm not much of an artist. I am not a trained artist, Ben. The only thing I think I've got on you, Ben, is maybe 6 months of Twitch practice. No, like I've just been doing it. I've only been doing the streaming and the drawing as a whole for 6 months. I have a bit of base knowledge I've carried over from my younger years, but it's been about 15 years since I've actually tried to draw anything. So don't put yourself down. I'm not that far ahead of you, and for all I know, you've done technical drawing or whatnot. There could be other stuff you've done that adds to it. But honestly, it's just because digital art, you're very basic in digital art, looks can look a lot cleaner than your basic drawing because you don't have all the smudges and stuff. So I guarantee if you gave yourself a couple of an afternoon or so a week for a few months, you'd be at this level, no problem. Because I haven't got any inherent talents. This is all just, repetition. Like I said, today's stream has been drawing my model is something that I drew quite a lot of when the buzz of drawing first hit me. So I've done what most people do. You've drawn the same thing over and over again, and you've seen me struggle trying to pluck new ideas from the air and put them to paper. But yeah, in any case, I feel like I might be cutting today a bit shorter if I get my... Hang on. Where's my stream manager? Don't think there's anything I need to do. There is a question of now. So I'm just having a little look at the raid targets. We have Little Fairy who's doing a karaoke. We've got what's it called? We've got Brainless, who's a nice fella who I got introduced to through Faye, who's playing marbles at the moment. Or we have a streamer again I raided into on another stream, and I've not raided them before, but they're currently playing Elden Ring. So it's a case of, do I go for the ground already trodden, or do I go for someone new to try and make new friends? That is the question. Let's have a look. Go back to my stream manager. Yeah, okay, we'll try something new. This is Oceanax. She is a British magical girl VTuber. She's very her style is very, she's got a drawn model as well. Her style is very 90s Sailor Moon-esque, if you get my drift. Very nice person who got introduced to the other day. And I thought, well, let's try someone new. We'll see if I can raid into them. But, thank you everyone for watching. We'll be raiding out. Feel free to stay, feel free to leave. I hope you've enjoyed, just whatever this was, this little bit of work I was just doing. Listening to some music. Have a good night, and goodbye.